like Orenthal. Already know what I'm about to do, bet your men fall. Everyone know that we got the truth, all your men false. So lost, overtaking our enemies. Moves calculated and orchestrated like symphonies. Smooth operator, been bringing haters to misery. Top 5 list ain't shit unless you mention me. Yeah. That's why we don't associate. Fuck niggas make them more fuck niggas. Why they procreate? Why they overhate? Cause they time is short and the moment late. Let it culminate to they harder race and it palpitate. Cowards perpetrate like they little group is respectable. Talking intellectual, all of you homosexuals, faggots.
There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat your children.
I don't want to congregate. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to fellowship. I ain't trying to build with you. Ain't the UPK, ain't the truth. Keep it real with you. Defenders of the faith, I got no problem bumping heads with you. All that bullshit, you can take it over there with you. Rather be a houseboy, rather run with them field niggas. Show them to put in work. Move mountain, crush hills, nigga. Take a dead soul, breathe life and make it live, nigga. No affiliation, so it's no one to compare with us. Took the Lord's laws and just added it with fear, nigga. Aim for the body, cause you know that killer hit quicker. With these bars, I'm on my grizzly, so bear witness. You spit cold, I spit flu. Don't compare sickness. You floss diamond, I floss fringes. Don't compare dentists. UPK, we meant the bullshit. We ain't Christian. Harm one of us, get pistol whipped like the gun got a belt with it. I'm bred different. The competition just a mill. I'm fed different. I stood front line on them fields. I bled different. I'd rather be a corpse than a coward. I'm led different. Shit, I'm led different. Come through like a juggernaut, so don't get in the way. And we take everything serious. We don't play. I wonder now what they gon' say. Shit, we make profits all the shooters like the NBA. You get slayed for switching sides, nigga. We ain't on the same page. Immaculate conception. Wow. These niggas bitch made. I'm sticking with the foundation where my bricks laid. You switch sides, I'd rather switch K's. You was never with us, nigga. Just know we on mission, nigga. Right hand hold the scriptures, nigga. Left hip hold the pistol, nigga. How you want it? You can get it spiritual or physics, nigga. Wrong ones to come against, so bring an army with you. No affiliation. When you see us, make the difference with us. No affiliation. When you see us, know we different, nigga. No affiliation, so no, you can't kick it with us. The wrong ones to come against, bring an army with you.
Perfect, 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 perfect.
There's nothing I can say to make you believe. Yeah. Man, ain't nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to make you believe. To make you believe. What if I told you that I was the son of God? Would that be easy to believe, or would you make it hard? And I finally learned the difference between wise and smart. When I say we bless people, they say times is hard. And all I can tell them is they ain't never lied. Reincarnated, I'm back like I ain't never died. Man, I won't say it if it can't be verified. Niggas say they soldiers, when war starts, they terrified. I'm about to let it ride, bring it back to pride of black skin, cause they ain't got a clue what's happening. And we still being punished from back then. How we gon' make a change when we too busy adapting? Buckle your seatbelts, make sure you strapped in. They showed us the trap, so now my people trapped in. Cause everything we wanted to be, they said we couldn't be it. I told them we was chosen people, they just couldn't see it. Yeah. And it ain't nothing I can say.
Hey, shalom, Israel. We are the Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commanding General Yahanna. He is the leader of this nation, under Christ, under the Most High, you understand? And we have been bringing out this truth since 1969, that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true children of the Lord, you understand? And not only have we been bringing that knowledge out, we've been bringing out the solutions that's going to fix black people permanently, you understand? Like, not just a feel-good story or not just a feel-good movement, you understand? We've been giving the solutions to actually fixing black people permanently so that we can enjoy our rightful place in this earth as the top nation, you understand? Right now we're at the bottom. Everything that you see going on proves that, you understand? You know, we're at the very bottom of the pecking order right now. We're being slaughtered, we're being hunted, we're being murdered, you understand? And what we see is these so-called leaders that we have, these so-called leaders, they would have us sin against the Most High and submit ourselves completely and fully unto our oppressor. You understand? And this is what we gotta realize. The Most High has given us solutions to coming out of this hell that we're in. The Most High has given us solutions to coming back to actually serving Him and Him actually destroying our enemies and their kingdom for us, you understand? But the thing is, we're not going to learn this in the Christian church. We're not going to learn this in the Muslim mosque. We're not going to learn this in the conscious community. You understand? The only place you're going to learn the solutions to fixing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is here in the Isupk under the command of General Yohana, you understand? And tonight, that's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into pretty much how black leadership forces us to pretty much love our oppressor. You know, damn near everything that we do comes down to us loving this oppressor. Even when we think that we dislike him or we not being ruled or governed by him, truly we still are seeking his love, you understand? We're still seeking to be accepted by him. You understand? We're gonna see what the Bible says and what we must do in order to come back to the Lord. And we want to show how these Christian pastors, these black, Hispanic, and Native American politicians, they're going to force us to love the same person that's oppressing us. But they're also going to force us to hate and rebel against the Most High. You understand? We want to see that in Scripture. Because we want to start in Jeremiah 2 and 13. We're going to start there, and that's a heavy scripture. It's a heavy scripture because the Most High is telling you, He's telling Israel what we've done to offend Him. You understand? Right. He's showing us what we've done to offend Him, but the Most High will tell us what we did, but He'll also give us the answer on how we must come back to Him. And this is what we got to listen to, because a lot of times we don't believe. So like a lot of times we don't believe that the Bible is an accurate book. We believe that the Bible was written by the oppressor, that we can't believe nothing in the Bible. But the thing is, everything that we've been taught since a youth, you understand? Like everything that we've been taught from as a youth about these scriptures, about God Himself, was a complete lie. You understand? The Most High causes us to separate from our enemies. He causes us to separate because when we are in the midst of our enemies and we're joined to our enemies, we are the ones who die. We're the ones who go to prison. You understand? We're the ones who are always on the bottom. Like right now, you got Africans, you got East Indians, you got Asians, you got all these different nationalities here in this kingdom, in this country called America. But yet and still, it's the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that's always been persecuted. It's the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that always got the foot literally on our necks. You understand? But we won't get some more scripture. You got that?
Come. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. For my people have committed two evils.
For my people For my people have committed two evils. When the Most High says my people, that's very possessive, you understand? That's possessive in the fact that there are some that are considered the Most High's, and there are others that are not. Israel, we are considered the Most High's. We have committed two evils against the Most High. Keep on.
They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters.
They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters. Keep going. We're going to break these down too. We're going to get a clear understanding on what the Most High is saying and why He's saying it. Keep going.
And ruled them out cisterns, broken cisterns, that can hold no water.
And hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So if you go to where it says, for my people have committed two evils, they have forsaken me. Like, what does it mean to forsake? You understand? Like, and this is why it's very important when we study. When we study, you get a Bible dictionary, or you can go to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. If I could, let's look up that word. Let's look up what forsake means. We're going to understand clearly what the Most High is saying, you understand? Because it's very important that in order for us to fix our transgressions against the Most High, we first have to understand what they are. And there's nobody telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans what we're doing wrong. You understand? Because we don't know what we're doing wrong, we continuously do the wrong things. We think everything that we do, as long as it's done with good intentions, is the right thing. And that's because we've come up under poor leadership. We've come up under leadership that seeks the so-called white man's love and affection, you understand, instead of the Most High's. You got that definition?
Forsaken, to abandon or deserted.
To abandon or to desert it. You understand? They have forsaken me. They have abandoned me. They have deserted me. The fountains of living water. This is what the Most High is saying. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have abandoned the Most High. The Most High didn't abandon us. You understand? He didn't do away or desert us. We abandoned and deserted Him. The fountains of living waters. If I could hold that, and let's go to John chapter 4. We're going to start in verse 10. We're going to get a precept on what these living waters is, you understand? Because we've come up under Christianity where as though we think we know, but we had no clue. You understand? But we're going to show you exactly what these scriptures mean. What is living waters according to the Bible? Is this water that we're drinking? You understand? Like we want to understand today what we've done, how we're going to come back. And we're going to expose these Christian pastors and these black politicians who cause our people to sin against the Lord. You got that?
You said John?
John chapter 4 and verse 10. You're going to start there.
John chapter 4 verse 10. Herein is love.
4 and 10. John 4 and 10. That's right. And for anyone that's new to the Bible, just go to the front of the Bible. You have your the glossary, and the very beginning is going to show you the books of the Bible. It should say John, and you just turn to that page, and that's how you'll find your scripture. You understand?
John chapter 4 verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water.
So right here, Jesus answered the woman, and he's pretty much saying, thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink. Thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee. Like, if you'd have asked for these living waters, I wouldn't have given them to you. You understand? This is what Jesus is saying. Drop down to verse 13 and 14.
John chapter 4, verse 13. Jesus answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again.
So right here, Jesus is talking about, I hate saying Jesus, Yahushua is saying right now, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. This is the physical water. You understand? Like, you can drink of physical water and yet be thirsty still. You understand? But let's see what he said next. Keep going.
But whosoever drinketh of the water that it shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
This is the difference. This is a spiritual water right here. You understand? This spiritual water, so to speak, is how you say, but whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst again. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. You understand? This water that's being spoken of, these living waters that springs up into everlasting life, what is it? What is these waters that we're speaking of?
The truth.
God. We're speaking of the truth right here. We're speaking of keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you understand?
Right.
So if we jump back to Jeremiah 2 and 13, they say, they have forsaken me, the fountains of living water. They have abandoned me. They have deserted me. The fountains of living water. We've abandoned the truth. You understand?
Right.
We've abandoned the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. And once we abandon laws, statutes, and commandments, like in our mind, we think that once we start keeping the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments, that we just want to be, free to do what we want to do. In all actuality, as soon as we start keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, we start keeping our oppressors' laws. We start keeping our oppressors' holidays and statutes, you understand? Like, we think that we are free-minded thinkers, that we make wise decisions on what we should and shouldn't do. When in all actuality, when we disobey the Lord, when we turn our back on the Lord, we don't go and make good decisions after that. We go and follow suit with the same oppressor that's killing and murdering us. And this is why we're in the streets protesting and begging him for his love, you understand? If I could, let's get the second one, the second evil that we commit with, and start with, say, and hew them out cisterns.
What chapter is that?
It's like Jeremiah 2 and 13 still.
Okay. You said start a cistern?
Yeah, we're saying hew them out cisterns.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13 in the middle of the verse. And hew them out cisterns, broken cisterns, that can hold no water.
Alright, so we just see that we committed these two evils. First of all, we turned our back on the Lord, you understand? And we stopped keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. We left the truth. Then they say we hewed them out cisterns. Like, a cistern is a vessel or a vase or something like that holds water typically, you understand, or holds liquids. So hew means to create, to form, to make it like, or to shape something, you understand? So we've shaped and we've made ourselves cisterns. Like, stay with me, like, these cisterns were vessels. But it said that they're broken vessels. If these cisterns are made to hold water and they're broken, logically speaking, they can't hold the water that it's supposed to hold, am I correct? That's why I say that can hold no water. These cisterns being spoken of are religions. These are religions that we've created for ourselves, you understand? This is Christianity. This is Islam. This is being a Buddhist. You understand? We've created for ourselves cisterns, broken cisterns, because these religions that we created for ourselves, it holds no truth. They're broken. It holds absolutely no truth, but this is what we hold on to. You understand? Like, people right now marching, and you hear people talking, it's like, we gotta forgive. We gotta forgive, and we gotta be brothers with our enemies. Meanwhile, our enemy is the one that's busting our heads and killing us and putting his knee on our necks, you understand? So, we've been taught to love the very man that's killing us. But when it comes to your own brother, we've been taught to hate each other. You understand? Like this is the psychology behind us doing what we think is right. We can't please two masters. We can't serve two masters, you understand? If we want to love our oppressor, how can you love the oppressor and the oppressed? How can you love the abuser and the abused? You understand? It's impossible for you to do. You know, you're going to be playing 50, you understand? You're going to love one more than the other. You're going to love one and hate and despise the other, you understand? And this is what happens to our people. That's why, like right now, that's all we talk about is the protesting and the rioting and looting and stuff like that. When George Floyd, the brother lost his life. Not only did George Floyd lose his life to police brutality, we had other brothers in this protest that had lost their life to police brutality. You understand? And what it do is it causes our people to have less empathy for our own people. You know, you hear people making excuses for the police. Well, you shouldn't attack the police and you shouldn't do this. I'm not saying you should attack no police. You should not attack no police, but when you take in people that's beaten and raped and pillaged and pretty much destroyed, what do you think you're going to get? You understand? So at the very least, we can have mercy and show mercy to each other, but it's impossible for us to do that when we are taught to love our oppressor and seek his love, you understand? So that's what these cisterns are, you understand? These cisterns are the broken religions that we take part in. You know, like I said, Christianity, Islam, you know, the conscious community, being a Buddhist, being a 5%er, a 7%er, you know, Old Testament, whatever you want to call yourself, you understand? Like, these broken religions are the reason we are destroyed right now. You understand? First of all, we turned our back on the Most High. We abandoned His laws, statutes, and commandments, and then we went out and created gods and religions that fitted our comfort. You understand? Like the one thing you'll find about the Most High is He's not going to give in to your will. You know, because we want to be certain types of people. It's not good enough for us to say, no, that law right there don't make sense to me, you understand? I can eat that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, you understand? I'm not hurting nobody. Who are you to abandon what the Most High told us to do? That's real egotistical, and that's real arrogant and prideful. That's the same spirit that our oppressor had, and that's why we had it, you understand? But when it comes to this oppressor of ours, this colonizer, this devil that the Bible speaks of, you understand? Right. When he tells us to do something, we listen. We listen. Like the Black Lives Matter movement itself is ran by a devil. And this is what we choose to put our support behind, you understand? We need to come back, get into this Isupk, man. We need to come back to and return to the Most High, keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments, and doing what the Most High told us to do. This is the only salvation we're going to have. This is the only solutions to us actually getting out of this kingdom with our life and establishing our own dominance here in this earth, you understand? This is the only solution. It's coming through the Most High. Like, we gotta go to our Father. Like, the Most High punished us for the things that we've done. So the Most High has punished us for the things that we've done. At the very least, we gotta ask forgiveness, and we gotta turn around from doing the things that got us in trouble in the first place.
Right.
We gotta walk away from that. You understand that? Like, my son, if my son gets in trouble, am I gonna reward him if he continuously to, exercise the same behavior that got him in trouble? You understand? Or do he have to change first in order for me to say, you know what, I see you working now. Now I can take you off of punishment. Like, he actually has to do, he has to do something. He can't remain the same and think that he's going to get a blessing from me. You understand? He's got to change his ways and understand that his way is not the way that I taught him. His way is not the way that's going to work in my house, you understand? And once he understands that, he'll change his way and then he can get blessed again. It's the same thing with us. We can't continuously do the things that the Most High told us not to do and expect the Most High to bring us out of this hell, you understand? And this is what we got to understand, but this is also why we got to separate from this kingdom. So like in 1 second. Hey, shalom, my little person. Come on down. Come on. Come on down, sir. What's up, man? Hey, so like, let me get that mic. See, this one got a real bad echo in it. Hey, so like, for that, just having some issues with the mic, but we back now. Yeah, but like I was saying, like, we've got to actually change our lives, you understand? We've actually got to separate from the people that's teaching us to sin against the Most High, and this is why we got to come out of the Christian church. This is why we got to come out of the Muslim mosque, you understand?
Right.
Because it's doing nothing for our people.
Right.
You understand? Like, we right now, if you look at the protests that's going on right now, you see the oppressor. The oppressor is marching because he understands that when all of this is said and done, in order for his kingdom to thrive, he's still going to need us in a subservient place. And the only way he's going to do that is if he marches with us.
Right.
Like, they'll tell you out their own mouth, because, if blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans actually separate from us, this kingdom will fall. You understand? So they're very strategic. Never look at it like you can't ever look at them and feel like they have good intentions. You understand? Like, the Bible speaks, it warns us against this. Never look at them like they have good intentions. Always know that it's a plan and there's been counsel that is taking place.
Right.
So like a little sidebar, like last week, we went out and we interviewed, a few of them. And the thing is like, they actually had a itinerary. They had an itinerary of the where they were going to be at what time. Like, it was organized to a T. You understand? Which means that it was a lot of planning that went behind this. There was a lot of planning that went behind this, and that planning was not from us.
Right.
That planning was from them. You understand? Because they recognize something. If they can orchestrate this, and if they can make this this so-called protest for equality, if they can mask it under the murder of George Floyd, when this is all said and done, we'll come back and we'll be willing slaves to them again. You understand? We got to be smarter than that. The Bible teaches us to be smarter than that. You understand? The Bible reveals to us the spirit behind these people. You understand? If I could, let me get Psalms 83 and 3. Start in verse 2, Bobby, the show.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
For lo, thy enemies have made a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Like if you look at the murders that take place, towards blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you understand who we have a common enemy. We have a common enemy that we're fighting. But the thing is, we don't even know that we're at war with them. Instead, we'd rather go to war with each other when we have a common enemy that's seeking to destroy us simultaneously. You understand? Keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Like you have to understand that this is no coincidence what's going on here in the earth, you understand?
Right.
If you look at the protesting that's been organized in every major city here in the United States at the same time, itineraries that's been placed out and people meeting up at certain locations at a certain time, you understand? You got to understand that they have taken crafty counsel. This crafty counsel that they've taken, everybody was at the board meeting for this, you understand? Everybody. You got the oppressor himself, you got the East Indians, you got the Asians, you got the Africans, and guess what? Our black leaders are there too. You understand?
Right.
They take crafty counsel against thy people, and they consult against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones of the earth? Like right now, how many black people, how many Hispanic people, how many Native American people understand truly that we are the nation of Israel and we are one family? You understand?
Right.
The fact is, we don't know that. Our identity has been hidden from us, and this is what the Lord is saying. They've consulted against thy hidden one. They've consulted against us, you understand? This is why we call ourselves African Americans, or Native Americans, or Puerto Rican, or Dominican, and whatnot, you understand? We call ourselves by what our slave master called us, you understand? But we don't recognize each other as Judah, as Shemaiwan, you understand, or Simeon, as Issachar. We don't recognize each other as that, you understand? Because our identity has been hidden. Keep going.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Like, how are they cutting us off from being a nation? Like, how do you cut a person off from being a nation? You divide them. You understand? You take their identity from them. You take their culture from them. You take their language from them. You understand? This is what's happened to our people. Our culture, our identity, everything has been stripped of us. And right now, we take on the same culture of we take on the culture of whatever land that we're in. You understand? Like they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. They hate the fact that we know that we're Israel. You understand? And that we come from a holy seed. We're a holy nation, a separate nation. You understand? That's why they classify us as a hate group. This is why every time you hear anything about the Isupk, until a person comes here and feels and sees this brotherhood up close and personal, a lot of people don't understand who we are and what our mission is. A lot of people don't understand what we're doing while we're in the streets sacrificing. You see what I'm saying? Putting our lives on the line. You understand? A lot of people don't understand this. But guess what? Our oppressor do. He understands that if we come back to being the nation of Israel, and then we look in this very Bible and see what the nation of Israel was promised, and we see how the nation of Israel was brought out of captivity before, Lord forbid we start doing it again. Lord forbid we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the Most High return to us. Because if we do that, the Most High said that our enemies will become His enemies overnight. You understand? So this is what they understand that we don't. You got a question? What's your question? Meaning, the thing is like, the question was, what do it mean that our enemies will become the Most High's enemies overnight? Pretty much, if you have a situation where, if I can break it down and I say, I don't want you hanging on the corner selling drugs, you understand? That's not what I want. Hey, y'all, shut it down. If I tell you I don't want you on the corner selling drugs or something like that, you understand? And yet, when you grow older, you go out on the corner and start selling drugs. When you do that, that means that you were disobedient to me, you understand? You went up there and you were disobedient as my son, you understand? So it's a certain type of energy you're going to bring to yourself because you're in a lifestyle you shouldn't be in. You feel me? You're going to have enemies who come after you. You understand? But then you come home and you say, you know what? Hey, Dad, I'm done with that life, man. I want to serve the Lord again. I want to be up under your protection. I want to be under the Lord's protection again. Now those same enemies that sought to destroy you, now they become my enemies, you understand? Because you came back to me. You've returned to the Lord. And because you've returned to the Lord, now the Lord is going to fight for you. You understand? And this is what we got. This is what we try to get our people to do. Return to the Lord, because we should not be out here marching. We should not be out here marching. You hear so many people saying, if you don't vote, you cannot have opinion on black issues and whatnot, you feel me? How silly does that sound? When we can go to the Bible, and the Bible clearly tells us we should not vote. But if you look at every situation in which Israel was freed, we never got freed by voting for the oppressor that we want in office in his kingdom. Like it has to make sense at some point in time, you understand? We can't be slaves in a kingdom and then vote on the leadership in that kingdom that we're slaves in and expect for us to have equality with our master.
Right.
If that's the case, they'll, if you were the top dog in the kingdom and you got somebody that's way beneath you asking for equality, realistically speaking, why would you bring them up to be equal with you? That means that your plush life that you're used to living, you can't live that life no more because you've given it away to people who you consider inferior.
Right.
So what you do is you mask it. You understand? You make these people believe that they're equal. You make these people believe that they're free. You understand? But when they get out of order, you let them know who top dog is. You understand? You sick the police on them. You sick dogs on them. You put your knee on their neck. You understand? This is what they do to our people. And this is why we got to come out of this beast that we're in. You understand? If I could, let me get Deuteronomy 28:1. I love reading this because we do not, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we do not understand what the Most High wants to give us.
Right.
Like we so used to being punished and beaten and downtrodden, you understand? We so used to being a victim that we don't understand what the Most High wants to give us, because we would no longer be victims at that point. We will be ruling nations. We will be ruling this earth. You understand? This is what the Most High seeks to give us. Let me know when you got it. Love the show.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
And it shall come to pass, I mean, like this, as surely as you're reading this, this will happen. You understand? Like, this will happen. This will come to pass. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, this is going to happen. If, that's a condition. If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the Lord, the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning we got to listen to what the Lord is telling us. We can't listen to our Christian pastor that tells us that we got to love our oppressor. We can't listen to our oppressor that says, you know what, we're all one in this. You know, we've got to help you guys become equal with us so you can enjoy the same luxuries of this country. We can't listen to that. We got to listen diligently to the voice of the Lord thy God. Keep going.
To observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day.
To observe and to do all his commandments. You understand? Like, that's very important, because if I go out on the streets right now and I shoot somebody, I kind of believe that everyone would see that, okay, he was wrong for doing that, right? Everybody would say that, okay, Batazabah was wrong, he shouldn't have did that.
Right.
People will recognize that as a sin. But if I was to go out here and start eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, people wouldn't see no issues with it. You understand? Like, this is what's plaguing our people. We pick and choose what sins we can commit as it pertains to the Most High. Our oppressor say we can be a homosexual. You know what we do? We go out and become homosexuals. Our oppressor says that we can sleep with our brother's wife, because they're unequally yoked. She makes $100,000 a year. The brother only makes $30,000 a year. They're unequally yoked. You understand? Divorce that brother and go get a man that's on your level. The oppressor allows this. You understand? And because the oppressor allows it, that's what we do. We will go out and eat shrimp and crab. Like right now, here in Baltimore, they're protesting a white business in which the business owner, he was on social media, and listen, all the devil was coming out of him. You understand? The Most High made it so that this devil, he spoke his mind freely. You understand? On social media. So now they say blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, 75% of his clientele. And he's speaking down on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And he's bigging up Trump and whatnot and everything pretty much that white supremacy can offer. So we go to his organization and we're protesting. We're protesting what? He's a crab shack. You understand? He has a crab shack. We're protesting his crab shack because he got good crabs. You understand? But if we follow this word, damn it, we wouldn't have been in his crab shack in the first place. You understand?
Right.
Don't give a damn about him being a racist. That's what he's meant to be. He's called to be that.
Right.
But we gotta come back to being called what we're supposed to be. You understand? And that's holy children under the Most High. You understand? We gotta separate from these nations. We gotta separate from this kingdom. You understand? Keep going. It's on, Judge. What's up? You start when you say to observe. You can start there again.
To observe and to do all his commands which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations. of the earth.
So right now, as we speak, we're marching and protesting for equality. We're marching and protesting so we can be equal with our oppressor. The Most High just said in Scripture that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations upon the face of the earth. Meaning, like, we're not going to be equal to no one. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you understand? The children that's on, like, if you're on this sign back here, you're not going to be equal to the oppressor. You're going to be above him, meaning he's going to listen to you.
Change the mic,
So I already did. What? Yeah, so he's going to set us on high above all these nations. There is no equality, you understand? Like, why do we want to be equal so bad when we've been at the bottom for so long? You understand? Like, we've been at the bottom for so long, like, goddamn, like, do we want to take control of this earth? Like, do we really want freedom?
Right.
You understand? Like, we got to ask ourselves that. We got to ask ourselves, like, is it worth following the Lord and doing what the Lord say so that we can be set on high above all nations of this earth? You understand? The answer to that is, yes, it is. It is absolutely worth it. You understand? Because the adverse is what you see right now. Us getting murdered, shot, you know, and just killed for no reason at all. And then people will sit there and justify the murder of a black man, of a Hispanic man, as if our life had no value. You understand?
Right.
If we supposed to be equal and stuff like that, you feel me? Why are they treating our Isupk brothers the way they treat them? You understand? Do they not know that they ran them out of this country? Do they not know that they're the biggest illegal immigrants themselves here in this country? They stole a land. You steal a land and then tell other people that you put out that they got to abide by your rules? How much of a devil can you be? You understand? But this is the same people we want to be equal to. You understand? You can't be equal with a beast. You understand? Mm-hmm. If you're equal with a beast, how can you tame it? How can you correct it? How can you control it? You understand? You don't have the authority if you're just equal. You understand?
Right.
You actually have to be above this beast in order to tame it, in order to control it and rule it. You understand? Right. And this is what the Most High seeks to give to us. But if you leave it to our black leaders, these Christian pastors and these politicians, you understand? All they're going to do is say, you know what? We've got to forgive. You know, the storyline right now is geared more away from George Floyd and is going to, we have a lot of young white Americans that's they're picking up the banner, you understand? They're marching with their black counterparts. You understand? So, the so-called white man, this oppressor, is the only person that can create a condition to kill and oppress a people and then come back and be the hero of the story. You feel me? That damn, you the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right. And
then you come back and you're the damn hero too? Like, how does this work? He's the only person that can profit off of wickedness, you understand?
Right. But
guess what? The Lord has something for him. The Lord has something for him. And if we want to stay up under him, and we want to give our love and our loyalty to this oppressor, unfortunately, we're going to suffer just like he's going to suffer. You understand? If I could, let me get Isaiah 9:16. Hey, Slack, any questions online?
no question. Live.
Any questions in the classroom? All right, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 9 verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err,
for the leaders of this people, cause them to err. What people are we talking about? The leaders of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans cause us to err, you understand?
Right.
The very fact that we're protesting right now on the streets with the same man that we're supposed to be coming up against, you understand? He's marching hand in hand with us. That's because our leaders has caused us to err. Your Al Sharptons and your Jesse Jacksons, your T.D. Jakes and Jamal Bryants, who no justice, no peace, no justice, hands up, don't shoot, you know?
Right.
Like, goddamn, these leaders cause us to err, you understand? They're the reason that we're in the conditions that we're in, because they failed at doing what the Lord told the leaders of his people to do. And that's return to him. Return to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. These laws, statutes, and commandments is what's going to free us, you feel me? But if we don't know what the hell they are, we feel like they're done away with, how can it free us? You understand?
Right.
Keep going.
And they that are led of them are destroyed.
And they that are led of them are destroyed. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are destroyed. We are utterly destroyed. You understand?
Right.
Like, if you look at the conditions that's been placed upon us, I hate when people say, well, the police is killing us, you feel me? But we killing us. You understand? As if to say the police killing us is acceptable because of what we do to each other. Right. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not supposed to kill each other. We're not supposed to be harming each other, you understand? But what people have to realize is we're killing each other because of the mindset that's been placed upon us, the drugs that's been placed upon us, you understand, and the conditions that we've been placed under in this society. You understand? Good?
I would cut some people kill each other, so that ain't got nothing to do with them killing us, they do.
Huh. Like, it sounds so silly, because when you say, well, the Eric man, he dropped a plane in 9/11, but white people kill each other every day. Like, that sounds so stupid, you understand? It sounds ridiculous. And it sounds ridiculous because we're talking about another group of people.
Right.
But when we say it about us, in everybody's mind, it sounds prophetic. Man, in order for them, we worry about them killing us, we gotta stop killing us. What the hell did that, what do one got to do with the other? You understand? We are destroyed as a people, man. We are destroyed as a people. Go ahead.
Like, since we kill ourselves, it's okay for everybody else to kill us.
Yeah, like, we kill each other, so because we kill each other, we commit crimes against each other, it's free game for anybody that wants to come in and do us harm, you understand? How can you get mad? How can you get mad when the police kill you, if you kill you? Like, I hate the ideology of that, you understand? And the thing is, that only happens with us. That only happens with us. That don't happen with no other race of people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's because we're destroyed. Our leaders cause us to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Keep going.
There.
You switch the camera? You switch the camera?
Therefore, the Lord.
You switch it. Do it with the fade 1200. Oh, wow.
Therefore, the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows.
Therefore, it's like this. Therefore, the Lord shall have no joy in their young men. You understand? Right now, like, the type of people we're supposed to be, according to the Most High and what He requires of us, our young men, you understand?
are supposed to be soldiers coming up after their fathers, you understand? Typically, what you'll have is you'll have fathers who are soldiers who defend the nation. They raise their sons up, you understand, to be just like them. Warriors in Christ, you understand? The Most High can take joy in that. The Most High can take joy in that because that's our culture, you understand? That's what he told us to do. But right now, let's say, therefore, the Lord shall have no joy in that young man. The Most High can't take joy in us, you know why? In our young men, because we're destroyed. If you look at it, it's like, a little technical difficulty. Probably moving it a little closer so we get some slack on that cord. We good on the screen? Something pulled right back there. That's good.
It wasn't me.
You know what I'm saying?
You hit that floor right there.
I ain't moved. I ain't moved. So like, this is the kind of stuff that happens when you bring the truth out, you understand?
Right.
Like, this is exactly what happens, you understand? That camera fall, you understand? Like, this is how you know the truth is being broadcast, you understand?
Right.
You know, but what we gotta understand is the Lord can't take joy in our young men because our young men have not been raised. Our young men have not been raised to our young men have not been raised to be soldiers according to the law, you understand? And this was a strategic plan that's been put in place to destroy us, you understand? Like we read earlier in Psalms 83 how it said that they've consulted against us. They've consulted against us, you understand? Like what you see today in our young men and in our nation as a whole, this was planned for 20, 30 years ago. The fruition or the fulfillment of what you see today amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they had meetings about this 30 years ago where they sat and said, listen, if we drop that cocaine, if we drop that heroin off, if we drop them pills off in the hood, you understand? If we drop them guns off in the hood, we're gonna get them to kill each other.
Right.
You understand? We're gonna destroy the next 3 or 4 generations if we push this right now, you understand?
Right.
And the strong men that wants to stand up for the community, what we're gonna do is we're gonna arrest them. We're gonna kill them, you understand? So what you're saying today is a fulfillment of what they've done 20, 30 years ago because they take crafty counsel. You understand? Gentrification is not, it didn't just happen. You understand? You actually got to plan this thing out. You understand?
Right.
You actually got to lower the property value in a particular neighborhood. How do you lower the property value? You put it on the news every night. A killing, a shooting. You understand? Make this place scary to come to. You're going to lower the property value, then you can go in there, you can get it for pennies on the dollar, you understand? And in 10 years, that's going to be a booming community. And that house that you purchased for $5,000 is going to go for $350. You understand? Like if you're from Baltimore, what we considered White Lock, you understand? White Lock was a hood, you understand? So, White Lock was a hood, you understand? But now you got houses going for $350, $450, damn near $500,000 in White Lock. You understand? This is crafty counsel right there. This is how they plan things to destroy us. Drop that. Let me get Hosea 4, 6 and 7. For any black, Hispanic, and Native American, I want to put this out there because a lot of people do not know, or a lot of people can't grasp who we are when we say we the home of the truth. You understand?
Right.
If you have issues, if you need counsel, if you need you have an issue, you need support back, you call the ISUPK. You understand?
Right.
If you want righteous leadership, if you want righteous men to tell you what your next move should be, call the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. You understand? Your problems will get solved. You understand? Like, you ain't got to be a part of the organization right now, but you will see the brotherhood. Call the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana for all your needs, all your concerns. You understand? And you will be fixed. Straight up. You got that?
6 and 4.
4 and 6.
This is Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Listen, we've been in the Christian church for eons, it seems like. We've been in the Christian church for many, many years. We've been in Muslim mosques for many, many years, you understand? We've read a ton of books, you understand? And we ain't got the knowledge that's needed to free ourselves, you understand? What knowledge is that we don't have? We don't have the knowledge of this Bible, you understand? We think that the Bible is a so-called white man's book. And because we think that, we do away with this book, you understand? When this book offers all the solutions that's needed to free blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? See, my people destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We have a lack of knowledge as it pertains to this Bible, as it pertains to serving the Most High the way He wants to be served, you understand? We lack knowledge in that. Keep going.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. You understand? So when you see us on the corners, when you see us in these classes, and we telling our people, listen, let's leave these pork, shrimp, crabs, and lobsters alone, you understand? Let's stop being homosexuals, you understand? Let's stop being whores and adulterers, you understand? Let's stop killing each other. When we hear these things, and we reject them, you also got to know that the Lord is going to reject us, you understand? And this is our problem, because we reject the Lord by following these other nations. Like, we reject the Lord by marching with white people. We reject the Lord by seeking peace and seeking love from the very man that's killing us, you understand? Keep going.
I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children.
So we want to know why our children are being slaughtered in the streets. Your Trayvon Martins and your Tamir Rices, you understand? This is the proof that we got to return to the Most High, you understand? Because when we return to the Most High will protect our children. We think that we're doing a good thing by giving our children what they want, telling them what they want to hear, you understand? As they sin against the Lord. We have to teach them and train them in the way to go, you understand?
Right.
And the way we should train them is according to these scriptures. You know, it's unacceptable for you to allow your kids to become something that the Most High did not want for them. You understand? Because when that happens, the Most High allows whatever fate is going to befall them to happen. You understand? When they go to that nightclub and you told them, man, you should be getting ready for the Sabbath service tomorrow. You feel me? Like, make sure you know, did you go over the Hebrew tonight? Do you know how to read that Hebrew? So when you go to Sabbath service tomorrow, like, did you study that? And they say, you know what, I ain't feeling that, man. I'm gonna go to the club tonight. And then you hear shots ring out. You see what I'm saying? When you sin against the Lord, you put yourself in situations in which could be harmful and deadly to you and your children. You understand? This is why we got to come back to serving the Lord. Keep going.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
Keep going.
As verse 7, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
Man, that's heavy. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. You understand? Like, what glory has been turned into a shame? If I could.
Protest.
Not only the protest, what glory of ours has turned into a shame in itself? Our nationality. That's perfect. Our nationality, you feel me?
Right.
We reject our heritage and our culture and our nationality because it's shameful to us, you understand? When being an Israelite, to be born from a black, Hispanic, or Native American man is one of the greatest treasures you can have on this earth. It's a glorious thing, you understand?
Right.
Because you're now a children of the Lord. You understand? You have so many people of ours who don't even want to be considered black, Hispanic, or Native American.
Right.
You understand? It's shameful to be considered black. Good?
So much that they bleach their skin to change that color.
They even bleach their skin because they don't even want the melanin in their skin. You see what I'm saying? Look at Michael Jackson. It was shameful. He felt ashamed to be a dark-skinned brother. You understand? Look at Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa looked like a ghost. You understand? That brother was darker than me. Lil' Kim. You understand? Like them,
Look like white chick.
gun. You know, that's a heavy thing going over there in the West Indies right now with our Benjamite brothers too. Shit, all of Israel, when we bleaching our skin, trying to become something that we're not, because our culture, our identity as an Israelite is a shame to us. You understand?
So many of our sisters permanent hair.
Huh?
Hating being natural with their own look at their hair.
Huh? Our sisters permanent hair. When you wearing a fro and you putting you tying what's the name, a head covering on or something like that, it's such a beautiful thing. You understand?
Paying $buku to put another nation in your head.
Huh? Or an animal.
They were trash constantly. Other nation had. They paid $buku to get different kind of hair in their head.
And that's what that scripture. This is what this scripture is speaking to. Like, our glory has been turned into shame. Like, we don't even look at each other and value each other at this point in time. You understand?
Right.
And that's because we've come up in a system in which we've been always taught to love our oppressor, to love his way of life. His way of life seems so pure to us. You feel me? So godly. You know, that's what we think in our mind. Until you actually sit down and you break it down and you say, you know what? Who's killed and destroyed on the face of this earth? You know, the fact that we can go to a zoo and see an animal caged up, you understand? Or see a shark in Baltimore, in Drew Hill Park, in the middle of the hood, in the middle of the ghetto, you can go and see a shark swimming around in the pool. You understand? That's a product of a devil. You understand? That shark should be somewhere in the wild right now. You understand?
Right.
You know, They killing. You got elephants that they've taken out of their home. Elephants are distressed. They going back and forth and stuff like that. So they hit them with tranquilizers. You understand? Like, this is the devil that we're speaking of. And that's a small microcosm of what he's doing to us. You understand? Because we're supposed to be free too. We're supposed to be ruling this earth. You understand? Instead, he got us caged up in the projects. And then when we can leave the projects, we go straight to prison. Now we're in a 6x6 cell. You understand? Fighting for our very existence. You know, this is what he does to us. But yet we look at him in such righteousness, you know? He's so pure and he's so good, you understand? He is the devil that the Bible speaks of, you understand?
That's right.
This is what we're under this is what we are under when we don't serve the Most High. When we don't want to come back to our culture and do the things that the Most High told us to do in Deuteronomy 28:1, this is what happens. You understand? And this is why we gotta kick these pastors to the side.
Right.
You understand? If you want righteous leadership, man, Commander General Yohana is that righteous leader.
That's right.
You understand? You come into the ISUPK, man, you'll get righteous leadership. You understand? If I could, let me get Mark 77. You got people out here saying, matter of fact, hold that. Let me get Colossians 2:8 first. You got people out here saying, if you don't vote, you can't speak on black issues. Voting is the epitome of what we should be doing, you know. Don't talk to me about nothing black. If you ain't been up there voting, I can't see I voted sticker. You feel me? Word to the what? I ain't never voted in my life. You understand? And I never will. Because you're going to vote for the oppressor to continuously oppress you. You understand? So, you got that? Colossians 2:8. And this shows you the spirit that we have when we follow this oppressor, because we'll say, if you vote, don't say nothing about black issues. But here comes July 4th. July 4th right around the corner. You understand? And we'll celebrate with this oppressor. We'll celebrate his Independence Day, when he actually rose up against his oppressor. And he fought back violently against his oppressor. I'm not saying that we should be fighting back violently. We right now, our fight is spiritual. You understand? But nevertheless, it's a fight that we're in. You understand? We don't even realize that we're in a fight for our lives right now. You understand? He did. So the same people telling me that I gotta go vote or I can't speak on the black issue, the same people that's going to be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs on July 4th, you understand? You can't have it both ways. You understand? You can't stand up against your oppressor and then celebrate in all his victories with him.
Right.
You understand? You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Colossians chapter 2 verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. You feel me? The Lord is saying, watch out. You understand? Check this out. This is how they're coming for you. Like the Most High gives you a blueprint. He gives you the tools in which your enemy is going to use against you. Lest any man spoil you. You understand? What does it mean to be spoiled? Understand? What do it mean to be spoiled? If you got spoiled milk, is that milk any good? So is it a good thing to be spoiled or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. So the Most High is saying, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. What's that philosophy? What's that philosophy and vain deceit that we're spoiled with, that we're made rotten with? You understand?
Their holidays.
Their holidays, their traditions. We're all one. We can all be equal. You understand? No justice, no peace.
God loves everybody.
God loves everybody. You understand? We are one nation. You understand? This is the vain philosophy. You understand? The laws of God are done away with. You understand? This is that philosophy that spoils us. When you spoil something, it's no good no more. You feel me? You should not consume it. But we become spoiled because we listen to this vain philosophy. Keep going.
After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of men, you understand? Like everything that we do according to what our oppressor has set forth. You understand? Like when we talk about the high holy days that the Most High has in the Bible that all of Israel should be observing, you know what we say? Like what's the number one answer when we tell a person we should be celebrating Passover, days of unleavened bread? What's the number one answer you won't get? Go ahead. They Jewish holidays. You understand? That's the number one answer you're gonna get. So we give our culture, we give the holy days of the Lord, we give that away to a bastard, a filthy, disgusting bastard. You understand? Who is not worthy to tie shoelaces. You understand?
Right.
We give him the credit of serving the Most High and keeping his high holy days. You understand? But we'll keep July 4th. We'll keep Christmas. You understand? We'll keep Thanksgiving. You know, these disgusting holidays that celebrates the murder of our people. You understand? This is the days that we'll keep the traditions of men. Keep going.
After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ.
After the rudiments of the world, meaning like after the traditions of the world and not after Christ, you feel me? Because if we was following what Christ or Yahweh did, you understand, we would be keeping these laws. Go right there, Leviticus 23, and read them high holy days. Those are the days that we would observe, you understand? But we don't do that. We don't follow after what Christ did. We follow what our oppressor does, you understand? These are the traditions of men. Let me get Mark 7:7 now. And you know why we don't follow none of that? You know why it's hard for us to follow what the Most High told us to do in Leviticus 23 as it pertains to his high holy days, and why it's so easy for us to keep? It's like the traditions of men. You know why? You know what causes us to do that? Go ahead.
We want to be accepted by our oppressors.
We do want to be accepted by our oppressor, but why do we want to be accepted by our oppressor?
We love them.
Because we love them, and also because our leaders tell us that this is what we should do.
Right.
You understand? Our leaders tell us that if you want to have a good life and you want to be successful, you need to love this man. Look at all the success that he's obtained. You understand? Forgive him for all the atrocities that he's committed. You understand? They'll pull every scripture when it comes to forgiveness, when it comes to that oppressor. But when it comes to to forgiving your brother, that's a you know, I don't know what I say, but that's a Negro to me. You feel me? Like you have pastors who say that. He being a nigger. You feel me? You have pastors who say that out their mouth, but they won't utter anything remotely close like that as it pertains to that oppressor that's been killing us and destroying us for so long. You understand? You got that?
Mark chapter 7 verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Howbeit in vain. What does vain mean? What does vain mean? Go ahead. It's empty. You understand? Vain or vanity. You feel me? It's emptiness. It means absolutely nothing. You understand? You know, when you close, well, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when we close our eyes and we call ourselves praying, and we see that white Jesus that hung on the wall in our grandmother's house when we were growing up, we're praying in vain. You understand? You know, when we want to stay in sin, and we want to pray to the Lord, though I'm hitting my brother's lady, I'm busting her every other night. You see what I'm saying? But I'm going to pray to the Most High. That prayer is vain. It is empty. The Most High don't even hear it. You see what I'm saying? It say, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. What are some of the commandments of men? What's something that would be a commandment of a man? You understand? Go ahead.
Gay marriage is lawful.
Gay marriage is being lawful, you feel me? Our oppressor said that gay marriage is a lawful thing, you understand? So we listen to it, and we hold on to it, you understand? What's something else what else is something, what's another doctrine or commandment of men, you understand? Like what else is something else that we do, that we take as doctrine from men? And one of the biggest things is the law is done away with.
The law is done away with.
The law is done away with. We ain't got to follow these rules of this Bible.
The Sabbath service was on Sunday.
The Sabbath is on Sunday. You know, if we want to celebrate the Lord, Sunday is the day. That's the day of worship, you understand?
Love everybody.
Love everybody. Everybody's your neighbor. You understand? Go ahead.
Funny how they say that, like, love everybody. It's funny how they say that, love everybody, forgive everybody. But on 9/11, they couldn't forgive the Arabs. They wouldn't bomb the whole country.
Right.
Ain't no forgiveness for the white man unless he did something to you.
And
that's everybody in the world to forgive him.
And that's a heavy point, because there's a difference between white Christianity and black Christianity. When it comes to black Christianity, you're supposed to get beat in your head, you're supposed to get tortured, lynched, shot, raped, murdered, and you must forgive those who did it. You understand? But when it comes to the so-called white man and his form of Christianity, when someone does something to you, you seek vengeance on them, you feel me? And they say it in the name of the Lord. You understand? Yeah, I'm a Christian, but we need to go over there and we need to get revenge. You understand? We need to avenge what happened on 9/11. You understand? Which they should have done. They sought justice. You understand?
To a whole country.
To a whole country. Because it meant that much to them. So they'll want judgment against an entire country. But when we say that they got to pay for the crimes that they've committed, the crimes of their forefathers, that's when they want to be individuals. You understand? Well, I didn't have slaves.
Right.
I've got black friends.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, wasn't me. You understand? When it comes to them being on the opposite end of judgment, and they're receiving judgment, and they're receiving punishment, that's when they want to be sweet and lily, you know? They want to be all docile, and they want to, they want to cry and shed tears and all this nonsense. But let them want justice. Let them want justice, you feel me? And that's when you're going to see that true spirit come out, you understand? But we got to know the true spirit in them according to these scriptures. Any more of that? Let's drop that right there. Let me get James 4:4. Whoever get it first, you can read.
James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses.
Now, it's like it say, ye adulterers and adulteresses, you understand? What is an adulterer? Go ahead.
Someone sleeps with a man that sleeps with another man's wife.
Huh. What's an adulteress is?
A woman that sleeps with a man's husband. A woman that's
married.
sleeps with a man that she's married. She's married that sleeps with another.
So that's what adulterer and adulteresses mean. But in this context, what does adulterer and adulteresses mean? Is this talking about physical adultery, or is it talking about something else? Good. Come. Right here, this is talking about being adulterer and adulteresses as we start serving other gods. You understand?
Right.
We're being adulterers and adulteresses to the Most High. You understand? Because we're taking on other philosophies. We're serving different foreign deities and whatnot. You understand? This is what we start doing once we start building with other nations. Keep going.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
It's enmity.
Enmity with God.
Know ye not that the friendship of this world is enmity with God? You understand? What does enmity mean? Let's look up that word. Friendship of the world is enmity with God. You understand? Like, this is how we become friends. Like, when we become friends with the world, we start taking on the cultures of everybody else. You understand? If they eat bats and cats and stuff like that, because we want to fit in with them, we'll start eating bats and cats. You understand? If they got all different types of weird rituals and whatnot, you feel me? But the thing is when we become friends with these other cultures and these other nations, we start partaking and start participating in the same things that they're doing, which the Most High told us to stay away from. You understand? So when we become friends with these people and we become friends with the world, you got that definition? Go ahead.
Enmity. The state or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something.
So, and to break that down, it's in opposition to or hostile towards. You understand? It say, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity or opposition with God. You understand? Just know that when we love this world, we're opposing the Most High Himself. You understand? We love this world and we want to be a part of every culture, and we want to be, they call it eclectic. You understand? That word is called eclectic. You want to be, you want to be well versed in everyone's culture. You understand? You want to be able to get down with the Japanese and the Chinese and the East Indian. You're submersed in all of their cultures. You understand? You're eclectic, and that's when you sit all proud and you feel like you're more than what you really are. You understand? The Most High said, you want to be friends with them? There's enmity between you and I. You understand? You're opposing me. Keep on.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God.
And that's heavy. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God. You understand? Because when you become a friend of the world, what does that cause you to do? Go ahead.
Sin, break God's laws, commandments. Because we were told people that have these laws, and no other nation has them. So if we're following them in their footsteps, they don't give a damn about what God said. They don't love God.
Right.
So they're going to go against them and everything.
Right. And that's what happens to our people. You understand? That's exactly what happens to our people. When we start becoming friends with these other cultures, these other nations, we don't teach them our culture. You understand? We don't show them what we do. You see what I'm saying? What we do is we try to become a part of them, which means we change what we do, we change how we talk, we change how we act, and more importantly, what we do is we stop loving God, we stop loving God's people, and we start loving them. You see what I'm saying? So when we do that, we become an enemy to God himself. You understand? Was that it on that one, Uncle Sean? That was kind, right?
Kind.
Let me get Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people to the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Sorry, start that again for me, Uncle Sean.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, meaning like you are a separate people. Like there are a lot of people on the face of this earth, a lot of different nations, you understand? But you in particular, you are set apart from them. You are a separate people, you understand? Unto the Lord thy God. Keep going.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord thy God has chosen us. The Lord thy God has chosen blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you understand?
Right.
So like, just know, when that police got his knee in the neck of one of our brothers, you understand? He's beating on one of our sisters, you understand? Just know that he's beating on the children. He's beating on the children of the Most High. You understand?
Right.
The Most High has called us to be a special people unto Himself. So when they do these things to us, just know that they will not go unpunished.
Right.
You understand? They not only will they not go unpunished, their children won't either.
Right.
You understand? Good.
Not only are they doing it to us, they're doing it to God's chosen people.
Huh? Like,
They're doing it to God.
do you see the defiance of these nations? Like,
Disrespect.
and they know who we are. They know who we are.
Right.
Don't ever give them a pass thinking like they just think they doing it to a Negro. You see what I'm saying? They know that we're the children of the Lord. And yet they still defy the Most High, you feel me? And kill us in such barbaric ways. You understand? The Most High is going to deal with these bastards, you understand?
That's right.
It's going to happen. Keep going.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth, you understand? We have to understand that we're not seeking equality here. We're not seeking to be equal. You understand? We're seeking to rule. You understand? Like, why do we want to be equal with people who murdered and raped and robbed us? You understand? Like, goddamn, we've been at the bottom. We've been at the bottom for so long that we want to now be equal. No, that ain't good enough. That's not good enough. You see what I'm saying? That's not justice. That's perfect. It's not justice. You understand? Because like I said earlier, if you're dealing with a beast, being equal to that beast, you have no authority over it. You understand? You have to be above a beast. You have to be at the top of the pecking order. You understand? In order for you to control what a beast does. You understand? The Lord wants to give us this authority in this earth. You understand? We got to take it. You understand? And this is what the Isupk is showing and teaching our people. You feel me?
Right.
Like we're not asking for them to love us. We already know that within them they can't possibly love us. Period. We're not seeking their love. We're not seeking their trust. We're not seeking their inclusion. You see what I'm saying? What we're seeking is mercy from the Most High. We're seeking the mercy from the Most High because we understand that the Most High wants to give us this kingdom. You understand? A righteous kingdom. This is what we're seeking. This is why we're not going out and protesting. You understand? We protest, Lord willing, every Saturday on the streets. You understand? When you see us on the corner, right, that is us protesting. That's us going to war for the souls of our people. You understand?
Right.
The people that don't nobody want to do that nobody want around. That if people could just do away with us, they would. You understand? If you're here in Baltimore, when you go to Lexington Market, a lot of people don't like coming down Lexington Market. A lot of people don't like going to Pennsylvania and North Avenue. You understand?
Right.
But guess what? That's where the Lord's people at. So that's where the Lord's people were, and that's where don't nobody want to go. Guess who's going there? The Isupk, under Commanding General Yohana. You understand? We are the Lord's chosen people. Any more of that? Keep on. Give me verse 17, brother. Sure. 7-7 now.
Deuteronomy 7:7. The Lord did not set it love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people.
See, here's the thing, like the Lord loves the underdog. You understand? Like if you look through our scriptures, that underdog that nobody thought could fight, that underdog that nobody thought could make it, that they had no value, they had no purpose, you understand? The Lord will take that people and raise them up. And his glory the glory of the Most High will be perfected in the people that don't nobody want to deal with, that everybody feel like it's nothing, you understand? The Lord didn't choose us because we were the biggest nation. You understand? Like if you look at this society, that's what they do. You got the numbers, you feel me? If you a big clique, you got a clique of 100 dudes, you feel me? And then the next clique over only got 60. Typically, people gonna rock with the one with the largest numbers. You understand? The Lord said, "Nah, I'm gonna take this people right here. They few in number, but I'm gonna take them up, and they gonna rule this earth." You understand? This is what the Lord is seeking to give us. You feel me? Like, and this is why we got to come out of Christianity, and we got to come out of these Christian churches, and we got to stop listening to these black politicians and so-called leaders. Because the more we listen to them, the more we sin against God. The more we listen to them, the more of an enemy we become to the Most High. You understand? Like, being an enemy to the Most High is not what we want to do in this day and time. You understand? We've been an enemy for too long. Like, we're so used to getting our asses whipped. Salaki. We're so used to getting whipped and being on the wrong end of the whipping stick. You see what I'm saying? That when we got the Most High power that wants to fight for us, we got then a person that we classify as a leader telling us, "Nah, you ain't gotta do none of that. You ain't gotta listen to that Old Testament. You ain't gotta abide by them rules and them regulations. You can't be perfect. You can't keep all the laws of God. And if you think you can, you ain't nothing but a self-righteous whatever." You understand? So they will shame you into not serving the Lord. Meanwhile, they're going to go and be the biggest homosexual, they're going to be the biggest thief, they're going to be the biggest murderer on the face of the earth. You understand? Yes, sir? Go ahead.
For ye were the fewest of all people, 8. But because the Lord loved you, and because he will keep an oath with his flock, which he had sworn unto your father, and the Lord brought you out of the mighty hand, out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Here's the thing, because the Lord loved us, you understand? Because the Lord loves the brothers and sisters down at Lexington Market. Because the Lord loves the brothers and sisters down at Penn North, that Pennsylvania Avenue, Pennsylvania North Avenue, you understand? Because the Lord loves his people, he'll bring us out of this slavery, this bondage that we're in, the same way he did in ancient Egypt, you understand? The same way he brought us out of that hell in ancient Egypt, he'll bring us out of this hell here in America as well. But we got to do something, you understand? We got to commit ourselves to serving the Most High, doing what he told us to do, the way he told us to do it, you understand? And once we realize that we actually got to take on these laws, statutes, commandments, and start keeping them, the sooner we do that, the sooner the Most High will come back, send Christ back, you feel me, to take vengeance on our behalf, you understand? Good.
Now, therefore, that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenants and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to the 1,000 generations.
Listen, and this sums it up perfect, you understand? The Most High loves us and he's so merciful with us, you understand? But we got to keep his commandments, you understand? And if we keep his commandments, he'll honor that oath he made with our forefather Abraham. That he, that we will be his nation, you understand? He'll honor the oath that he made with Isaac and with Jacob, you understand? We just got to do our part, you understand? And part of us doing what we're supposed to do is separating from this kingdom. Separating from Christianity and Islam and being a 5%er and a conscious community, whatever the hell they are, you understand? We got to keep these commandments, you understand? And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer of 1,000 Notches on for a reading of the security announcements. Shalom, Israel.
Security announcement, we have Isupk coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Jimmy Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves for the world. After six months, a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from their head to speak. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from their head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment you can find as in Numbers chapters 18 through 21, and Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10, which means 10 for Hebrews, is pronounced ma'itra. 10% of any penny increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever you like to give. Upcoming holy event, we got the Feast of First blowing in the trumpet. The next feast we have, the next high holy day is the blowing of the trumpets. Check your head of your school for further details. Remind every Akin and Akwathian to check on social media such as Isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on forth for Isupk events and material. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Mariam Shabbat, Mariam Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatuh.
Yahweh Batah, class dismissed.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall. Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner, is my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We would not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem, tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour plays. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no It's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round, take round, take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dogs for this truth, nigga. Cool zone. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay dearly. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, where the truth sit, hey, where warriors dwell. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know 2 things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my anthem gon' meet the death. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My UPK soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that means? Fall on his ass. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Lonely one west. Say what? Lonely one west. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down.